Assalamu alaikum and good morning, my dear students. So, we were dealing with the chapter Why Do We Fall Ill, right? So, in the previous session, we discussed about the health, differences between health and disease free conditions, then the types of diseases and the causes of diseases. So, in this session, we will be discussing about the infectious diseases in detail. Okay, that means communicable diseases. So in that we will be discussing about different agents that cause infectious diseases and how these infectious diseases may spread. Okay, so let's move into the topics.
Infectious diseases. What do you mean by infectious diseases? The diseases which spread from an infected person to a healthy person is called infectious diseases, right? Or communicable diseases. So let's look what are the infectious agents. The agents which cause infectious diseases are called pathogens, or disease causing organisms are called pathogens. These include viruses, bacteria, fungi, protozoans and worms. So now let's look some of the diseases caused by various infectious agents. First one is viruses. Viruses may cause common cold, influenza, measles, mumps, chickenpox, AIDS, hepatitis B, etc. These kind of diseases are caused by viruses. Different viruses may be causing different kind of diseases, but they are commonly categorized under the group viruses. Next one is bacteria. Bacteria may cause the diseases like cholera, typhoid, tuberculosis, tetanus, anthrax, food poisoning, etc. And fungi cause most of our skin infections. Okay. So next is protozoans, which causes protozoans are what? Single-celled organisms like amoeba, paramecium, etc., plasmodium, leishmania, etc. comes under the category protozoans, and they may cause diseases like malaria caused by plasmodium, kala azar which is caused by leishmania, then amoebic dysentery, sleeping sickness, etc. are caused by protozoans. Then next is worms, intestinal infections, elephantiasis. Okay, so intestinal infections like there are a lot of worms, roundworm. Okay, then elephantiasis, etc. are caused by worms. So have you ever thought why we are classifying these kind of diseases into different infectious agents? Because if we are classified, then only we can decide what kind of treatment we have to use. Is it? The treatment against a bacterial disease and a viral disease will not be same. It will be different because the body constitution of a bacteria will be different from the body constitution of a virus. Okay, so we can't use same medicines for a bacterial disease or for a virus disease. For example, you might have heard about antibiotics, right? And these antibiotics commonly block the biochemical pathways for bacteria. That means, for example, the bacteria will produce a protective cell wall around them for protecting themselves. And this antibiotic, like the penicillin, will act on this and block the bacterial process that built the cell wall. So as a result, what will happen? The growing bacteria will become unable to make cell walls and they will easily die. Okay, so if we are using antibiotics, if humans are taking antibiotics, we have no cell wall, right? So it will not affect our body, but it will act on the bacteria that is entered in our body. But viruses do not use these pathways at all. So what will happen? The antibiotics will not work against the viral infections. So if we have a common cold or we can't take any kind of antibiotics to reduce the severity of the disease. Okay. So next we will look at the means of spread of infectious diseases. That means how these infectious diseases are being spread from one person to another. So the infectious diseases spread from an infected person to a healthy person through air, water, food, vectors, physical contact and sexual contact. Okay, first we will look at through air. Through air, the diseases like common cold, tuberculosis, pneumonia, etc. are spread. Okay, now our corona is spread through the air, right? Next, we have through water. The diseases like cholera, amoebic dysentery, etc. are spread through water, that is contaminated water. Next is through vectors. What do you mean by vectors? Vectors are the carriers. Okay, so those who carry the diseases from one person to another are called vectors. For example, we have mosquitoes. Mosquitoes will carry the diseases like malaria, dengue, yellow fever from one person to another. That means in many species of mosquitoes, the females need highly nutritious food in the form of blood in order to lay mature eggs. So what mosquitoes will do? They will feed on many warm-blooded animals like humans. Okay, in this way they will spread or they will transfer the diseases from one person to another person. Next one is through sexual contact. So diseases like syphilis, AIDS, etc. are spreaded through the sexual contact. So the diseases like syphilis, AIDS are transmitted by sexual contact from one partner to the other. However, such sexually transmitted diseases are not spread by casual physical contact. Okay, casual physical contact include handshakes, hugs or sports like wrestling or by any other ways in which we touch each other socially. And other than the sexual contact, the virus causing AIDS, that is HIV, can also spread through blood-to-blood contact with the infected people, or from an infected mother to her baby during pregnancy, or through breastfeeding. So these are the different means of spread of various infectious diseases.
Students, in today's class we discussed about the infectious diseases, right? How the infectious diseases are spread from one person to another. The different agents of spreading these infectious diseases. What was that? About the viruses, bacteria, then protozoans, then fungi and worms. Is it? And the different diseases that caused by these infectious agents. Then we discussed about how these infectious diseases are spread from one person to another. Through air, water, then through vectors and through sexual contact. Is it? So I think all of you have understood the topics. So that's all for today. We will meet in the next class. Okay? Thank you.